Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Prep Life Podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Anger. And today I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Leemarie Hossetter. Hey, Lee.
Hey,
So we're playing Oprah today because
we're playing
we're
Oprah.
going to talk about our favorite things.
Yes,
You know how she has her
yes.
favorite things?
Mhm.
Which is so ironic because this weekend I got together with my friend Kay Ray, and she is like my personal Oprah. And she put together Kay Ray's favorite things.
Oh, I love
And if you're watching on YouTube, you can probably see my little kit here, but it's like all of her little favorite things that she has all the time. And I was talking to her about how this would be if I put together one of these little packages for show day, it would be so clutch because it's like a container of bobby pins, like teeth picks, like an Advil container, makeup wipes, and just like little random things. And I think like a little sewing kit and earring backs, stuff like that for show day. Wouldn't that be so fun? So
so fun.
I'm gonna make a bag of favorite things. I think that's gonna be my new like gift that I give
I
to
love
competitors for show day, just so they have
it.
it
You should get
handy.
some nail glue and some eyelash glue in there.
Yes,
Oh, it's
yes.
coming clutch.
Yeah, and just like maybe like lip gloss or like a blotting. I mean, there's so many things that I can think of, but she kind of inspired me to do that. And so then when you emailed me and was like, "Hey, let's do our favorite prep things," I thought, "Oh gosh, that's so funny that I just got that gift." But so random. So I digress. But we're gonna get to both Lee and I's favorite things when it comes to prep. So our first category is food. Do you want to
Food,
start?
of course. So I just wanted to do this because I feel like every prep I kind of get obsessed with like a new food item. And for me, it's usually a vegetable. So my last prep last year, I got obsessed with cucumbers with stevia and cinnamon and salt. It's just
Yeah, I
amazing.
remember.
This prep, I'm kind of obsessed with mashed cauliflower. And I just
Ooh.
kind of came up with it because I was cooking cauliflower and I left it on too long and it got really mushy. And I ended up just kind of mashing it up. And I was like, wow, this is actually, it feels like you're eating
Mashed
mashed
potatoes.
potatoes. And I know
Yeah.
people hate that. They somehow hate when you call cauliflower anything else. But when you're in prep, guys,
Rice.
anything that is remotely close to like a creamy bowl of mashed potatoes, I literally just cook it up till it's way too soft, mash it with a fork, and then I add seasonings. And that
So
is it.
good.
Sometimes hot sauce too. Um,
Ooh,
but yeah, I'm
buffalo.
kind of obsessed with it. And it feels like you're having a comfort food.
That's amazing. Yeah, my newest like new thing that I've been doing are the miracle noodles with the cognac root
Yeah,
and
I haven't
cognac
had
flour.
those.
So I buy a variety pack, or my husband orders for me, a variety pack of different noodles that come in. Like yesterday, it came in the form of rice. Sometimes it's angel hair pasta, sometimes it's fettuccine.
Mhm.
But if you just kind of like rinse them first because they kind of smell like fish, but rinse them, put some marinara and heat them up with that. I think the whole package is like 9 calories and half the package is 4.5 calories. And it gives you a lot of volume. Now, some people don't digest those well.
Sure.
I I mean, I do, and if you're okay with like your weight fluctuating a little bit because it does make you retain a little bit, but it's like very temporary. And to me, it's just like when macros are very low, it's such a good filler for not very many calories. So that's like been my biggest hack this whole last prep. I mean, miracle noodles were a miracle for me.
Okay, here's my thing. I haven't had miracle noodles in forever. I think I got really obsessed with them and then I kind of moved on a little bit. Kind of like cucumbers last prep. I haven't had
Yeah.
cucumbers at all.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing to do with them, I'm really like an Asian style kind of girl, and so
Oh,
more
you'd
than
like that.
Italian. So I would put them in a stir fry with like a tablespoon of powdered peanut butter and
Ooh,
then some seasonings and stuff. Sometimes even
good
hot
idea.
sauce with that, with the stir fry veggies. So good. You gotta try
You
that. Mix
could, yeah, you could do like coconut aminos
it
or
up.
yeah, those are good ideas. Yeah,
Okay.
and I tried the hearts of palm for a while because
Mhm.
they're a little bit more calories than the miracle noodles, but those taste so much like cardboard to me. So I wasn't a huge fan, but the hearts of palm have the same concept where they're like the miracle noodles. So depending on what miracle noodles you get, the refrigerated kind are right next to the mushrooms. So hack in the grocery store if you're looking for them.
Uh,
They're refrigerated by
rinse
the
them
mushroom.
out. Like for sure, rinse them out. Don't cook
Yeah.
them in the water they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hearts of palm are the same way, but I just I don't care for the hearts of palm as
Mhm.
much. So if you're looking for a good one, that's one of mine. And then what do you have next?
Okay, so next, this one is my convenience hack is those tuna packets that you just rip open and
Uh-huh.
eat. The
Uh-huh.
I think it's the lemon zest ones or the ranch ones. Super low calorie, super delicious. You don't have to refrigerate them. You don't need a can opener. And if I'm ever caught somewhere and it's like, shoot, I forgot to meal prep, or literally yesterday I had my whole bag of food and I walked out the door without it.
Oh
So I
shoot.
ran over to Target and picked up a couple of these because I didn't have a scale to weigh my food.
Yeah.
Easy, you just scan them and you can track them, and it's super lean protein. And I really enjoy it. I don't mind tuna, but even if you do mind tuna, like you can get flavored ones or even chicken ones, and it's worth it if you are in a bind for protein.
Yeah, I'm not a big tuna fan, but um now that my basically I tried to cut out a lot of dairy and gluten like during prep. So now that I'm in a reverse, I brought back my Ninja Creamy with and then I also incorporated back in 100 calorie English muffins just because
Mhm.
those with the Land O'Lakes whipped butter, the tablespoon of butter is only 50 calories and then the English muffins are 100 and sprinkle some salt on there. It just tastes so good. I love an English muffin with some butter on it. So
So
that's my
I,
favorite.
unlike you, am in the middle of prep. So I'm not eating much dairy. I unfortunately lost my level one protein powder a while back, but we'll bring it back. But in the meantime, I've been a little bit obsessed with 99 one ground turkey because you can have so much of it and it's just a blank canvas. But I love making it into like taco style seasoning meat and putting it on a salad or mixing it with my mashed cauliflower. But it's just super lean, and it's just nice to mix it up and not always have egg whites. Chicken.
So you do the 91, but not the 99? Because the 99 is even less.
That's what I said. 99 one. Didn't I say that?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. 99 one. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
more common. I used to have to go to Sprouts to get it, but you can get it at like I just got it at
Anywhere.
Target today. Yeah.
Yeah. The chicken, I've noticed 99% lean ground chicken is harder to find than the
Oh, okay.
turkey.
Yeah, I usually just do
Which
turkey.
turkey, I don't know why, but to me, it's more dry. Like I have to um like mix that with mustard or something
Yeah, I add a little
versus chicken.
water when I'm cooking it, and
Okay.
then I mean, the amount of mustard I go through is kind of ridiculous, but I like to combine mustard and hot sauce too and make like little sauces and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
The best on prep for sure. Okay,
Nice.
what
Beverages.
about your drinks?
Yeah, so I did not realize. So for the longest time, I was drinking like energy drinks and different like pre-workouts and stuff while I was doing my fasted cardio. And then I totally forgot. I don't know why, but I've been on thyroid medication for like 15 years, and you're not supposed to have calcium 4 hours after you take your thyroid medicine. And I was looking at the content of calcium in almost every energy drink, they put calcium in it, except for Megawatt
Huh.
from First Form.
Uh-huh.
And I really like the natural Megawatt. They only have one flavor. It's strawberry lemonade, which is really good. And it's flavored with stevia. So the Megawatt natural is my like pre my cardio jam. And then I love sparkling water, any kind of flavor. Limoncello is my favorite LaCroix
Yes,
flavor.
yes, 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 yes.
And then
If
my
you
uns
don't like sparkling water, you will like the limoncello one.
yeah, it
You
tastes
need
like a
that one.
dessert,
Yeah.
especially if you're on prep. But
Hmm.
yeah, and then my kind of bougie like almond milk lattes. So it has to be the Blue Diamond because it froths up with my frother that I have at home. But having an almond milk latte for like it's a cup of almond milk for 30 calories. So
So good.
and it tastes and I like drizzle stevia, liquid stevia on top of it. So it kind of looks like a like caramel or chocolate drizzle. So good.
So fancy. Okay, so last prep, I got a little bit obsessed with those decaf flavored coffees.
Like
I
K-cups,
haven't
yeah.
gotten there yet this year. It might get pulled out at the very end. But what I've done this year is actually I was talking to one of my girls at Supplement Superstore, and she gave me a sample of this, and it's a coffee flavored pre-workout. And usually I'm very skeptical about this, but I will literally do half a scoop and I will put it in and I'll make like an iced latte with it with just water, ice, and a splash of almond milk. So it's like 3 calories or something, like literally just like enough to like color the water. And
Huh.
then I'll do it in my bullet blender and I'll blend it up with just and it's super sweet. So it like tastes, I don't need much of it, and it's about the same amount of caffeine if I do a half a cup as like if I would get a Starbucks coffee. Maybe a little less than a Starbucks coffee. I usually get a venti Starbucks coffee, so probably a little bit less. But I think it's about 100 milligrams of caffeine, maybe a little, maybe 80. But anyways, I've been doing that in the morning, and it's 2 carbs, I think, and that's it. So it's like super, like it kind of takes out. It's basically like drinking a black coffee, but it tastes really good. So I've been doing that in the morning. And then since I do a pre-workout in the morning, then for my pre-workout, I've actually been using First Forms. I forget what it's called. I can see it in my head, but it's their non-caffeine, like non-stim pre-workout, and I use it and it just kind of gives me a little like mental boost, but I don't use it on lower body, but I'll use it on upper body days because you can really tell that you get a good pump from it, but you're not drinking any caffeine. I think it might be
Okay.
Alpha something. I don't know. I'll have to link it in the show notes, but
Yeah.
it's really good. It makes me feel like I'm drinking a pre-workout and stuff, but then I'm not drinking any caffeine because especially because I usually work out after work, so I'm working on the afternoon and then I don't have any extra caffeine, but I still get that like placebo effect, and the pump is really good from it. And then my last one is our old standby, but the chocolate sea salt magnesium is a staple for me every single night. I do it. It caps off my day. It helps my sweet tooth. It is 0 calories and it is amazing. And I do the same thing where I just put a splash of almond milk in it.
Yeah.
Blend it up. So
Yeah.
good.
So that's first on my list of supplements because you asked
Oh, love it.
what our favorite supplements were. So segueing into that. And I will tell you that if you like hot chocolate, you can drink it hot, tastes delicious, especially if you don't have a blender. There's something about the consistency of that stuff that does not stir well. You
Yeah.
cannot get it to mesh with cold water if you don't have a blender. So I do drink it like you do, like a kind of like a iced like a protein shake is what it tastes like to me at night for 0 calories. And then I, of course, with my Ninja Creamy, I do my level 1 ice cream sandwich because it's the creamiest. And then for stress reduction, I do a Core 21. So those are my top 3 supplements that I'm jamming with right now that I like.
I've been doing something that I just started in about a month. The full mega, which I'm really excited
Hmm.
about. And I've never taken a fish oil supplement consistently before. So
Interesting.
I haven't really noticed like a night and day difference, but I'm excited as I keep taking it to see what happens. But so I've been taking that. I've been really good at taking that. I take a few on prep, like fat burners and stuff, but the other two that I am relentlessly consistent on are my creatine and my vitamin C powder. I take those every single day. I've started posting about them if you follow me on Instagram every single day. And I just think that the creatine, especially vitamin C, is just sort of like my baseline. I always want to be taking that. You can take vitamin C every single day. If you take too much, your body just flushes it out. Um, but it's actually super important for fat loss too. But immune system and everything. But my creatine, I've just been hearing more and more about the benefits of it, and that one is one that I always notice a difference when I start taking that in the gym, that I can just my endurance. I can just go longer in the gym
Yeah.
without hardly even thinking about it. But what I really want and hope they come out with more research on is the cognitive benefits, because that's kind of relatively new, but they're just starting
Mhm.
to research that it actually helps with cognitive health and aging. So I actually have my parents taking it, and I mean, they lift weights a little bit. They're mostly runners, but like just for the cognitive benefits and for how inexpensive of a supplement it is, I have them taking it every day too, which I just think is pretty cool. And I brag on it all the time because they're in their 70s. And I'm like, anything that's going to help you guys with brain health and stuff as you age is awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. And you were mentioning about the vitamin C. It's also, it can really help your digestion. So if you're constipated, you can actually take like 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C and it'll help you go to the bathroom.
That is something that I don't know if this is just specific to me, but magnesium makes the biggest difference for me. Like
Yeah.
bigger than anything.
Yeah.
Magnesium, if I need to help things happen a little faster, I will just double up on my magnesium and it's like within a day. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to actually put that, like if somebody had trouble on show day going to the bathroom, I would have them take 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C the night before just to make sure that they go to the bathroom on show day and get
That is
the show
so
fairy or the poop fairy. What's
yeah,
called?
definitely.
It's
It's a
like a
big
show
deal.
day.
Digestion is
Bowel
huge.
movement is
Yeah.
huge. Okay,
Yeah.
so I added a category of podcasts. So did you want to say what
Wait, we
podcast?
didn't talk about books.
Yeah, we can talk about books.
Okay, I put mine under sort of under my motivation,
Okay.
and then you had your books. But I have books and vlogs. So lately, and this is kind of every prep for me, I will end up watching the CrossFit games because they kind of happen during my prep, and I use that or CrossFit training vlogs. And I
Uh-huh.
just use that as motivation for my prep because even though it's a different sport, I feel like the sport of bodybuilding, the hard work is in the discipline and in the very small, minute details and being perfect at all these little tiny things that you have to do every day. And
Mhm.
so you have to attack it with the same intensity. But somehow, sometimes for me, watching like a day in the life vlog of a bodybuilder, unless there's like a huge workout, like reel or something, it's not super motivating. But I'll watch CrossFitters train and go throughout their day and do like 3 sessions and work really,
Oh
really
wow.
hard. And it just motivates me to do my prep really, really hard. And so that's something that has been really motivating. And the other thing is that my church actually is doing this 21-day prayer initiative. And they gave us all these little prayer journals with prompts to
Uh-huh.
pray for different things. And so I've been doing that every morning before I leave for work. And it takes me like maybe 10-15 minutes. And I know you talked about journaling, and I was like, "Ugh." But then somebody gave me a journal and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And it literally, like, I'm going to keep going. Like, I'm sold on journaling, but the ones
Yeah.
with the prompts help
You have
me
to
so
have the
much
prompts.
more. Yeah, than the
Yeah.
ones that are just, and so this one's like, like a prayer journal, but like even like a motivational journal or something. Doing that every day helps me focus so much and stay in such a better mindset for the day and just clear my head, get focused on the goals again. I mean, I write about prep, I write about like my prayers, my family, everything like that. And I just remember thinking, oh, I probably will never be a journaler. And hi, I'm a
Yeah.
journaler.
I thought the same thing. And I think it makes a difference when it has a prompt and then it brings you to like your gratitude for the day and like your goals and just kind of like organizes your thoughts. Cause I'm not a person that can just like blah, write something on a page like without a prompt or
Yeah.
the journal like saying, okay, this is where you list this out and things like that. So yeah, I
I do
totally
it like
agree.
4 in the morning or at
Yeah.
night when you're done with everything. Like you don't want to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What about you?
my list of books. So I just recently finished Be Useful by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I really like that book. Um, and then I have a list in my queue that I kind of just took screenshots as you see. So I haven't read necessarily these, but they're the ones that are on my list. They've been recommended to me. So the one I'm currently listening to on audio, which I just use my library app, but What Happened to You by Oprah. Ironically, we were talking about Oprah and the favorite things. And
Mm-hmm.
then I have read The Power of Now, but I have that one in my queue. That one's really good. It's by Eckhart Tolle.
I've heard of
That's
that
one.
one.
That one's like trying to bring your mind away from like anxiety of like,
Mm.
future and past and kind of like bringing your mind into the now to reduce anxiety and bringing your mind to gratitude. And then I've never read The Comfort Crisis, but that's by Michael Easter. That one was recommended to me. And then another one that was recommended to me by my coach for a business is Buy Back Your Time. And that's by Dan Martell. So Savannah was reading that when we were in New York, and I was like, she's like, oh, it's really good. And she had this huge journal that goes along with that. And then I just love Dale Carnegie. He's like a classic. So um, I've read a lot of times like How to Win Friends and Influence People, or is it the other way around? Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, that's it.
um,
Yeah.
I haven't read How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. So that was another book that got recommended to me. So I'm excited to read those. And then YouTube during this last prep, I really listened to Terry Saville Foy quite a bit. She had Miss Olympia on there, and she talks a lot about like visualization. And I made a vision board my last prep. I did a lot of journaling that based on like her recommendation. And then she just kind of like, I always felt like she kind of related everything to fitness and like the links to scripture and things like that. And then Craig Groeschel is another one that I really like.
Mhm.
He's a good author, and then he's just, yeah,
Yeah,
person I listen
totally.
to.
I've been more on, and I know we'll probably talk about this next, but more than books on podcasts or YouTube.
Okay. All right. So
And
you ready for
especially when
podcast recommendations?
what?
Are you ready to do your podcast
I am.
recommendations
Yes.
then? Okay.
Let's
Let's
go.
hear them.
Okay, so I listen to podcasts in the car when I can't look or when I'm walking because I don't like to walk and look at a screen. It's sometimes okay when I'm on the treadmill, but like especially if I'm outside, I find myself having bad posture if I have to look. So I try to look around me and everything. So I'll listen to podcasts or YouTube. So my top ones lately have I've actually been searching more like guests on podcasts. So I'm in the middle of I've been listening to this for like 3 days. But Dr. Lane Norton was on he was on the what is it? Who showed it? The Huberman Lab podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
so and but it's literally like a 2 or 3 hour podcast. Like it is so fun. I
Huberman
couldn't stay
has
up in the shop.
long
Yeah.
podcasts. He
Yeah.
is known for his long podcasts. Get ready, buckle up, strap in
You
on
guys
that.
are welcome for these 30, 40-minute episodes. But
Yeah.
also like his guests are legit. And so I just love listening to Lane Norton talk about anything. So he's just so brilliant and just so down to earth about the things he explains. So I've been listening to anything he's on. Modern Wisdom by Chris Willix. He just has a huge variety of guests. And so some of them are talking about health and fitness, some of them are talking about relationships, sometimes it's political, sometimes it's religious. But I think a common theme is like trends of today and things like that, which I just think is really interesting to find out, especially, in the fitness and stuff. And then
Yeah.
my old standby is Real AF by Angie Frisella. And it is the only podcast that I can work out to because he is so intense and his
He is.
energy is so intense that it's motivating. Like I can listen
Yeah.
to him rant about something and like go hard in a leg day.
It's like he's yelling at you.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like, do better.
He's like
Okay.
cussing at you. Like,
It totally is. Language, if you don't want to listen to language, maybe be careful if there's kids around. But he also does it in a way where he's not just throwing out these words like they actually are. I don't know. They have a place in. He's just so
yeah.
passionate
Yeah.
about what he is passionate about, and then he also is the CEO of First Form, which is one of my favorite companies in the world, and definitely my favorite supplement line. Um, Hashtag not an ad, even. I've been using their supplements for years. So
Yeah.
those
Before I
are
met
mine.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So my podcasts are, I like the Pro Physique Code a lot. I have to be honest, I only listen to when it's like Paul, Lexi, and Evan. So like they don't label it anymore, the prep series and the
Oh, sure.
lifestyle series.
Mhm.
I don't really listen to the lifestyle one, I have to be honest. So I listen to
Hey,
like
we're living the prep
50%.
life.
Yeah. I love, but they're really good. And I just feel like they always talk about like recent shows and things, and
Mhm.
it just is like my bikini news for the week. So good job, guys. Thank you. Shout out to you guys at Pro Physique. And then I really like Bikinis After Babies with Jillian Hughes and Mandy Rashawn. I can really relate to those two ladies because they have a similar life to me where they had babies and then
Mhm.
they are in their bikinis. So, um, but yeah, they just have really interesting things to say and good advice. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I also like not a podcast, but YouTube. I have been really getting into Dr. Mike Israetel because
Oh yeah,
he
he's
is, I
good.
mean, he's in the bodybuilding world, but he's very scientific and very
Yes.
into different techniques and different methods of training, which as a trainer and a coach, but also an athlete, I just love to geek out on that kind of stuff. And so I'll find his videos and he usually talks and works out. So I'll like
Yeah.
skip forward through the workout parts till he's talking again and then listen. But he's
He
really
used to
good.
have a podcast. Did you ever
Does he have
listen
a
to that?
podcast?
He
No,
had
I
one.
should.
I don't know if it still exists, but
Isn't
him
that
and
RP
somebody
strength?
else. What's
Okay.
it called?
Well, his method is the RP strength method, and
It's
it's like
something.
it's a
Yeah.
training app I think that you can get the Renaissance periodization app that you can do. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
he
have to
used to
look
do
into
a podcast. I can't remember what the name of
it.
it was, but he was with another like PhD guy that they would talk about like scientific.
Mhm.
I'll have to get back to you guys on that
A
one, but I
little
don't think it's one of those ones that kind of like the Jeff Nifford podcast. Like I wish he would keep going with it, but he, stopped doing it a long time ago. And
he's
um,
another science nerd. I loved his stuff
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of our list then. So,
Yeah.
all
What
right. Well,
about you guys? Drop in the comments or message us on Instagram what you've been loving lately, whether it's food, whether it's podcasts, motivation, or having to do with your prep life, whether you're in the improvement season, like Amy's going into, whether you are in prep, like I am, whether you are a few days out from your show or just starting a prep. What have you been loving? Share with us. We want to know what
yeah.
you found.
And then also just share with us what you want to hear. It's
Yeah.
always, I feel like, thank you. A couple of you kind of like DM'd about our last couple of episodes and like what you thought of it. And I just really appreciate that feedback. It really helps us know that we're making a difference. And I think that's our biggest goal with this podcast is just to like help people, whether it's, through our errors or like so maybe you can learn from something that like because I've done a lot of shows so I've made a lot of mistakes so
Mhm.
hopefully all of you can learn from our mistakes and maybe not do them or any things that work for us like what we talked about today. We're always here to help, so you can find us on Instagram Prep Life Podcast or at Glam Girl Bikini. And if you would like to apply for coaching with Leemarie or myself, you can go to glamgirlbikini.com and hit the get started button. Thanks for listening, guys.